Hey, guys. My first guest tonight has a great book out, man. Just leafing through this thing, it's unbelievable. It's called Great Jersey Musicians, Photographic Artworks, Premier Edition. Richard Elliott Hoynes is the name of this gentleman. And here's the book. What do I do? I can look at this camera? Is that it? There it is right there. And it's really cool, man. It's one of those books, a lot of stuff I read some of what's written in here, and that's great. And but the pictures are amazing. Who is that on the back?
That is Paquidano.
Now, what? Give me his history, because this is a great back shot of a book. It's just the back of a big guy.
So I shot that picture
playing
going
guitar
through the window of the Mad Hatter in Seabright.
Ah, know it well.
He was playing there one night.
Yeah.
He does a lot of Bob Dylan music.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he plays a whole lot of... He's got a great voice. He actually sounds better than Bob Dylan. I hope Bob's not watching.
If he's watching, that would be a very big surprise.
Yeah.
But Jersey still is. It's so great, you know. And I have a house at the Jersey Shore. I grew up, you know, going there in the summers and everything. I was a Benny.
What town did you go to mostly?
Well, Seaside Heights, Lavalette.
Yeah.
But when I was really young, the last week of every August, my old man would basically, I think my father took a week off every year working, and he did hard work. Mm-hmm. He climbed roofs with a ladder, like winter. Yeah. And then the last week and a half of August, he would load us all up in the van. He'd take the antennas that he installed out of the van with the wires and the wrenches, put us back there, and we'd drive to the Crusader Motel in Wildwood Crest, New Jersey. Yeah. We would just go to the boardwalk, eat cheesesteaks in this little motel room. The four of us, me, my sister, my mother, and him, and we would just play ball on the beach and swim. It was just, we might as well have been billionaires.
What years were that?
This was, I was born in '67. I first have a memory of it from the time I was 3 or 4 until the age of 12. Right. And then we started going to Lavalette with the rest of the family. We'd rent the big house in Lavalette and go to Seaside Heights Boardwalk when I was a teenager. But yeah, the Jersey Shore, it's its own thing. You know, and you still get guys who could just take the stage and have that sound. Like a John Eddie, we were just talking about, Southside Johnny.
Yep.
There's great cover bands.
Yep,
there's
all in the book,
a whole industry of Springsteen cover bands named after every one of his songs. There's Badlands, there's Jungle Land, there's whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't you find? I mean, you grew up in Middlesex Borough.
Yep.
And isn't that the coolest thing about Jersey? Right?
Yeah. Great music. By the way, I spent my summers in Wildwood, which is why I was asking.
You did?
Yeah, my dad.
By the Crusader Motel, the Pan Am was there. And
we stayed at the Admiral.
The Admiral's right up there. We stayed there one summer.
Yeah.
By the Yankee Clipper.
Yeah, like the last 2 weeks in August, my dad took off, and we'd always take the family down there.
Same exact thing. How old are you?
I'm 52.
Okay, we were probably down there, maybe crossing paths.
Yeah.
We'd go play miniature golf all over the place. And,
and now I live in Belmar, so I'm down at the shore.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. And I got a house in Toms River, so I stayed close.
Did you ever go to Belmar?
Oh, God, yeah.
Did you go to Montego Bay, Key Largo, Bar A? Yeah.
Bar Anticipation.
DJ's is still there.
DJ's.
Frank Cement is in the book, actually. The two guys that own the bar.
Happy hour at DJ's.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Jersey Italians.
Yeah.
That's Jersey Shore where it started. DJ's Happy Hour in Belmar, man.
They're actually opening this weekend.
Oh, are they good? Yeah. How they do with the hurricane and everything?
They got wiped. The whole first
and
floor got
Bar A
wiped.
Too?
Bar A was good because Bar A is pretty far off the beach.
Yeah. My buddy, still a legend, took a dump at Bar Anticipation, 4th of July weekend, 1984. And when I say that, Bar A's bathroom, if you've been in there, if you met this guy, you'd give him a hug and go, "You're the most impressive human being I've ever met." Because it was one of those places where, while you were sitting on the toilet, your knees were hitting a guy who was taking a leak.
Yeah, because there's no doors.
A urinal in front of you.
There are still no doors on the stalls there.
No, he said he took a dump. I mean, most people would go out. It was so bad, people would welcome going outside.
Right.
Taking a dump. And a guy going to guys they hate car and taking a dump. And this kid sat down, drunk off his ass, with a drink in his hand, like an Alabama Slammer, and like a little umbrella. And his knees were hitting the guy taking a leak in the urinal in front of him.
I think Bar A actually sells more beer in a year than any other bar in America.
Oh my God! Yeah. I mean, a lot of crazy times, but you know, and obviously when you talk about Jersey music, you think of Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, yeah.
And that still like his first 4 albums, man, like that world he paints a picture of is so cool. Spanish Johnny and the Magic Rat Drove a Sleek Machine. You know, what got you involved in doing something like this? Was it just are you a musician yourself? Or?
I'm a musician. I write, I sing, I play. I don't really play out a lot because most of the musicians in this book are better than me.
Well, they're better than everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of them, yeah.
So, but I actually met Bruce at Key Largo when I was going down the shore.
Oh,
when I was
really?
like 19
Okay.
years old.
Yeah.
He was hanging out there with some girl.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine the broads he must have gotten? A friend of mine told me a story once. He was coming out of the Osprey in Manasquan, New Jersey. And
the Osprey,
this was the summer of '82, okay? And a big fight breaks out in the Osprey. And him and all his buddies get thrown out with the bouncers. And his buddy gets up and tries to run after the guy who sucker punched his brother in the face.
Yeah.
So he's going full throttle. And not knowing where he's going, he hits a guy, a smaller guy, who falls right to the sidewalk. Yeah. And he goes to pick him up and goes, hey, man, I'm sorry. And three guys, like Jersey Shore's version of Secret Service, grabbed him and took him away.
Yeah.
And he realized it was Springsteen. Now you think about it, summer of '82, Born to Run had been out for 7 years. The River was already out. Darkness on the Edge of Town. He was an enormous multimillionaire Jersey god.
Hanging in the bar.
Do you imagine the broads? Like that's the first place my mind went. Could you imagine how he could have tripped into a woman?
Oh yeah.
Just had sex with the hottest chick. Yeah. Like just trolling for broads at that time.
Yeah, you don't want to actually bring a girl on a date to see Bruce in a place where she could actually meet him. You'll lose the girl at the bar.
We're talking about the Osprey at the bar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. Yeah. So, did you love Springsteen or a certain type of like? What made you do something?
I love music,
take something
right?
like this on.
Yeah. So I've been. I started a website called GreatJerseyMusic.com.
Right.
About 5-6 years ago to help promote artists in Jersey. I got a lot of musician friends who wanted websites, and I was an IT guy in my corporate career, so they were like always asking me to do websites, but none of them have any money.
Right, of course.
You know,
like a lot of websites. Being in show business, over the last 15 years, website. Let's get involved in a website. Interview, invest in a website. It's a good way to go broke.
Exactly. So I created one site where everybody can go to see who's playing, and there's calendars, videos, pictures, and links to their websites. Because in order to find out who was playing somewhere, you'd actually have to go to the restaurant or the bar or the whatever website to do that.
Right.
So I've been photographing artists for years for the website.
And you were just going and taking pictures.
Taking pictures.
Right.
And about 8 months ago, I said, wouldn't it be neat to put together a book of some of these artists, right? And, I was trying to get to be a better photographer, too, so I was shooting a lot. And, I would shoot like 1,000 or 1,200 shots a night. Because, the cameras today shoot like...
Really?
Well, yeah, they shoot like 6 frames a second. So you hold your finger down and you got, 50 shots.
Okay.
Right away. So then I go through and I find the best frame and, anyway, I put together a book. And about 2010, I started a foundation to raise money for other nonprofits.
Okay.
Because I was doing a lot of volunteer work with Somerset Hills Learning Institute in Bedminster, New Jersey, helping them out with some stuff. And I have a farm up there in Bedminster.
Beautiful.
And I went
Beautiful area.
Yeah, it's a horse hay farm.
Yep.
And I went to the school, the guy who runs the school, Kevin Brothers, who's a really great guy, and said, why don't we do a fundraiser on the farm? I just finished renovating this house. I built an equestrian center on it, all solar powered. And I said, I got this property. I'm either going to sell it or we're going to, find something to do with it that's philanthropic.
Right.
So we went to the town to propose doing Bedstock, which was a music festival fundraiser for autism.
Right.
We ended up doing it for 5 schools, 4 in Jersey, 1 in New York. They all use the same method of treating children with autism who developed by the Princeton Child Development Institute.
It's become a big cause now. Now, I've done a couple of charity events for autistic kids.
Yep.
One of my good friends, one of the best comedy writers of all time, in my opinion, this guy, Robert Smigel. He has a son who's autistic.
Yeah.
And I've done a couple of charity gigs for him, and I've seen him at places and other. It's one of the most unique diseases, or whatever you want to call it, affliction that someone could have. It's just very... people should really be dedicated to finding a cure for that, because the parents of autistic kids, they always look so tired because it's just a massive thing. Yeah. We've got to take a quick break, but I want to talk more about this. And I think it's so ironic that you started out doing this newfangled thing, a website, and what happened was you had enough material for an old-fashioned thing, a book,
exactly,
which is great. Yeah.